Morning. Mike Austin here. Making waking at least a little tolerable. Grinding the edge off a Tuesday. It's 28 right now, up to 39 later on. Conditions look great. Maybe a little cloudy, maybe a little gusty wind. We've had way gustier wind we're going to have today. Just enjoy and just be happy with what the weather is. Does the weather play on you? I don't know what got into the Hornets and the Pistons last night, but boy, oh boy, it was a brawl. It was a
problem for a good defensive team. And Duran is fouled, and oh my goodness! And Moose is upset.
And off they went.
Moose is really upset.
It was bizarre. And it just escalated from there. Both benches cleared.
Never seen Musa Diabate like this.
Yeah. And those of you who saw, and if you analyze it this morning, the coffee club will be, you're at the coffee shop. You'll be discussing that. What does it mean to play nice, be nice? Are we taught that as much as maybe we need to be as kids? Let's talk about that with Dr. John Braccio, Regional Psychological Services, drjohnb.com on the web. Good doctor, good morning.
Well, good morning to you, Mike. And, it does seem like just good advice to suggest someone be nice, kind, and agreeable. Okay, well, yeah. The problem is too many people aren't nice, kind, and agreeable. That's just true. I would argue that people who are nice, kind, and agreeable are generally happy. They positively impact with those they interact. They're not submissive and clearly have boundaries and self-respect. I would argue that people who are not kind and not nice and not agreeable are not happy people and clearly negatively impact people around them. Now, assuming the 2 points are correct, then really, why are people not nice, kind, and agreeable? Well, there are many reasons, but the main reason would be they were not around, really people when they were growing up who were necessarily, nice, kind, and agreeable. They never developed these personality traits because they were not modeled to them, and they picked up more negative traits and views of others. They began to see this as the normal and even the correct way to be and lead their lives. If this is your case, and you're finding you're not that happy, your career may not be going well, and people around you are not that happy with you because you're not very nice and, kind and agreeable, well, I suggest you decide to change this. I am a firm believer that people can change if they desire. With that said, there also are many people who do not believe it's good advice to be nice, kind, and agreeable. It's actually true, Mike. They believe if you are that way, people will take advantage of you. Now, I'm going to agree there are persons who do try to take advantage of people who are really nice, kind, and agreeable. But, part of any change you would make would include not allowing yourself to be taken advantage of. Now, I've known and worked, and I'm sure you have also, with persons over the years who deal with resolving complaints with their companies or organizations, and I can guarantee you it can be a very difficult job, and they certainly run into a lot of people who are not nice, kind, and agreeable. However, they would also agree it's really so much easier to help someone and even offer more than they desire if persons are really nice, kind, and agreeable. I honestly can say I personally have been fortunate to be around a number of positive people in my life. Okay, my parents had a strong spiritual component to their views of life. My father owned a furniture store and always tried to do the best he could to make the customer happy and satisfied. My mother was a positive person who always said people do not want to be around people who are not nice to them. Good advice. My advice is, if you have now determined you're going to change and be a nice, kind, and agreeable person, then decide you will set up a program for yourself where you can change. Costs nothing to make the change, and you would find that not only would you be much happier, but those around you would be happier and want to spend more time with you. I generally find people who are nice, kind, and agreeable have friends. And people like to be around them. I also find the opposite's true of those who are not that way. Now, look at your life. This is my general advice. And decide what kind of person you want to be as happy as you can be. Okay, based on what we're really talking about, I think the choice is really easy. Really go for it, Mike. Try to be a nice, kind, and agreeable person, and make yourself happy and make those around you happier. It really seems to me to be a double win. How does that sound for advice today?
You know, you mentioned something early on. It really is early in life. Those seeds are kind of sown, aren't they? As your kids, they see how you are.
I find that people that come from negative homes, sadly, are negative, and they carry that with them. You know, there's that lack of trust. You know, you're going to find bad people everywhere. You just have to, you know, be able to sort these people out. But you don't want, because there's a number of bad people, whatever word you want to use for it, people that treat people unfairly, because they're out there, that's no reason you have to be one of them.
Right.
You just need to make sure that you don't let them take advantage of you. But being happy is important, and being a good person is important.
Do you ever, I mean, even in your practice and that, it always seems to be just, I was saying this earlier, it's one thing that breaks the camel's back. Like little things stack up, and you let them stack up. Oh, the guy cut me off. Oh, that Ryan with the red light. I got, I dropped the bottle of stuff and it broke in the parking lot, whatever. And it just stacks up, and then it takes one thing, one wrong word from the wife or the husband or the kids, and off you go.
Now, that's part of life, though. Mike, you're gonna run into days that I don't care if you're a saint. Even St. Francis sometimes would go wild if he runs into the days that that people never. You dealt just with animals up there. You have to deal with people a lot of the time. Everybody can have a bad day, and then they can have some anger. They can be unreasonable. And sometimes a home, which is a safe harbor, can be a place you're unreasonable. But if your general personality pattern and your desire is to be nice, kind, and agreeable, that's going to be the dominant trait. But again, to think that somebody isn't going to have bad days, that they're not going to be unreasonable, particularly if everything goes against you on a given day, that can make for a difficult day. But never lose track of who you are, who you want to be, who you're working to be, because you're never really done in life, being who you are. Okay, you always are trying to develop yourself to be more effective, to be a more good person. Call it what you will along the road of life. That's being successful. Once you think, well, I'm as good as I could ever be, no point in trying anymore, then you're going to really start backsliding. But if your goal is to really just be nice to people, kind to people, agreeable with people, that doesn't cost you anything. And it does, when you run into a really negative people, and there are plenty of them, you can just run into them at the grocery store. You can run into them just anywhere. They'll be saying, there's nothing good in this world, I'll tell you that. I'm saying, boy, that's a happy way to live.
I credit my father. I have so many like dadly sayings that pop into my head from time to time. Like Dad would say stuff like, "You don't have to be a wet dish rag," meaning have a backbone, know yourself. Right? Dad was a few words. I'm putting it into bigger, longer words, but know yourself well enough to be confident in what you do and who you are as a person, and then what your boundaries are. You'll know if you're being pushed around unfairly, and you'll also know if you're being generous instead of being pushed around. The other thing he would say, if I had an attitude, which I did a lot of times as a kid, he would say, "Don't get your pants in a wad. You got the same damn pants on to get happy in." That's what he would say.
He was giving you good advice, and I think it shows with you, Mike, because you're a fun guy. You're a good guy to talk to. You try to be helpful. You're in a helping world. I mean, your associates there are the same. So, hey, I mean, you learned your lesson well, okay?
Well,
and you want to be a happy person, Mike. You don't want to be a negative, oh, my goodness, negativity. One ride through life, and that's it. So you want to enjoy the now, because this is all you've got, and enjoy it. Be a good guy.
Yeah.
Be someone that people like to be around. Oh, yes.
And I would say I always say this, we are all salespeople. We're all selling something, whether it's a product, an idea, whether you want chocolate pie for dinner. I mean, you're selling something, right? You're never going to sell anything if you go at it from not happy, not you know what I mean, not agreeable standpoint.
Well, I really do, and I think if you want to use the selling, if you're nice to people, just a smile. There's some people that really have it tough, Mike. They're having tough days. It could be financial, it could be social, it could be spouse, it could be work. Just being nice to people, smiling to people, just being available to talk. I'm just just kind of being available and being a nice person, even if you just encounter them for a few seconds. There are people that say to me, they just like running into a smiling person, a happy person, a person who's trying to solve things rather than, oh boy, we're never going to solve this problem. Nothing. No, that's a bad way to lead a life.
Yeah.
And the fact that I still find hard to believe, people really don't realize this is a one-time shot on Earth, okay? And every minute you waste is really a minute wasted, and we're all aiming, to the day that we're not going to be here. So my view is it's not a negative thought. It's simply a call to order, like, hey, enjoy today, carpe
You may not
diem.
have tomorrow.
You want to use the day. It's really important. Yeah.
I always told my kids, you're not guaranteed your next breath, all right? So breathe deep. 7:21. Hey, Doc, we're up on time. I appreciate it, though. Be happy. Don't be, like Dad said, don't be a wet dish rag. Just know yourself well enough to stand up for you. You can stand up for yourself without being caustic, though, as well. So there's that. Doc, it's always a pleasure, man. I appreciate your help and your expertise on this every day, every week. We'll chat again next week.
Okay, my friend. Have a good week, okay? Bye-bye.
All right, see you later. 1320 WILS. I always like this one.
Maybe we should chug on over to Mamby-Pamby land where maybe we can find some self-confidence for you jackwagon.
Now, you see, you can be confident and assertive without being caustic. There you go. 1320 WILS. Warm day, up to 39 later on today, and a little breezy, but really pretty good forecast. Clouds, yeah, but a little warm up. We may hit. Friday, we're seeing like 36, but again, there are some models that are saying, well, but depends on the wind. And we might be around 40 again. So a lot of meltage. Just the drive-in looks pretty good here this morning, though. You're in pretty good shape. 28 degrees is what you got right now. 1320 WILS. We'll do this. Come back for a little bit. Got Bill Bailey up after bottom of the hour talking about luging. What does it take to become a luge? What do they call them? Luge driver? I don't know. Rider? You're just riding. How hard could that be? Well, we'll talk to him. He's over in Muskegon. They have a place over there. And Jesse Goldberg-Strassler, Lansing Lugnuts, looking at the new season. Got a new manager and everything. It's coming up. 1320 WILS, your morning wake up. I'm Mike Austin. We'll be right back.